Hey guys, how's it going? I have missed the last couple of weeks. I've had a few things going on in my personal life. Things have just been really busy, and I've had a lot of things to follow up for my chest surgery coming up. It's been a few complications, so sorry about uploading this late. I'm going to try and jam the last 3 weeks into this video. Um, week 52 was the airport scanners. How do you feel about them and experiences? Uh, from watching the other guys' videos, I think it's a bit different here in Melbourne. We don't have any sort of scanner that you walk through and that you can see the outline of your entire body. As far as I know, we just have the metal detectors and the pat downs. Um, I guess there is probably a pretty big need after 9/11. I can understand why those things are being brought into airports, so I think they've got their purpose. For me personally, if I was in that situation, I don't think I would mind too much about going through them, because I would see it that I'm just doing it as a one-off. I'm not going to see these people again. I mean, if I got asked questions about it with regard to my body shape and things like that, then obviously that would be pretty awkward. I wouldn't like that, but I would understand the reason for that. And yeah, when it comes to just the pat downs and the metal detectors, I would clearly rather have a metal detector. I don't usually pack, so that's not a problem, and I'd much rather a piece of equipment be scanning over me rather than someone actually touching my body who I don't know. So that's how I feel about that. In terms of being at the airport as well, um, I actually have had a couple of other experiences, not so much related to the body scans, but before taking tea, I went overseas. If you guys have been watching me on my personal channel, I went overseas for 3 months, and prior to going overseas, I wasn't able to take the tea in case of my body changing whilst I was over there and having difficulty getting in and out of different countries. Um, in saying that though, I still looked really, really different. I still looked a lot more masculine than in my passport, and my name had changed as well. So, yeah, there was a couple of problems with that. I think airports can be really hard for trans people, not just in terms of the scanners, but in terms of the gender marker. Like in Australia, you need to have, or in Melbourne at least, you need to have, as far as I'm aware, to change your gender, top surgery and a histo, and for me personally, I'm not getting a histo anytime soon, so my gender marker is not going to be changed anytime soon, which causes a lot of problems going to other countries when I'm looking like this and my name's been changed, but I still have female. So I think that, yeah, airports can cause quite a lot of grief for a lot of trans people with the scanners, with the passports, with passing, with all sorts of things like that. So yeah, it's a tricky one. Um, I'm going to fly through these guys as best as I can, so I'll go on to the next one. So week 53 was military and mandatory services. Um, I watched the other guys' videos, and I've got to say that I really, really liked Adam's video, because I feel quite similar to the way he does. I think it's different coming from an Australian stance from what it is in America, because we weren't hit with 9/11. Obviously, we are siding with Americans and are over at the war in Afghanistan at the moment. But I'm not the sort of person that I'm pretty anti-war, to be honest. I don't like the fact that um, there's a lot about this that I don't like. I don't like the fact that we're fighting for something. I think that what we're told why we're fighting for is not really the case. I think the media portrays to us what exactly they want us to know, what they want us to believe, and I think the reason we're over fighting over there is not the reason that they're telling everybody. I think there's ulterior motives, and yeah, as Adam said, I mean, we're causing half the problems being over there as well. So I don't agree with war. I never have agreed with any type of war, not just this one. I just don't believe in war being the answer. I think as well on the flip side that if we were attacked directly here, my view would be I'm all up for defence, but I'm not interested in going over and attacking in the way that it's been done. I just don't agree with it. So if we were attacked here directly, then I think that my opinion might be a bit different. But I just don't like war, to be honest. Full stop. But look, I can understand the need for it, and I understand and respect people that have fought for other people's lives. 100% respect that, but I don't respect the purpose of war. I think that it's always sort of had ulterior motives, and when it comes to power and control, I just don't trust that when it comes to those agencies and stuff. So I don't mean to offend anyone by saying that, but yeah, that's just my opinion. I just don't believe in the war. In saying that, though, I think the people who do want to participate in the war should be more than entitled to do that. I think that should be their choice. I certainly don't think that people that are gay, trans, different races, different whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyone should be allowed to do whatever they want in terms of if they want to fight in the war. I think that should be up to them. Obviously, different roles might have to be for different types of people. For example, if someone is trans going into the war and they don't have the strength or height or something like that to do particular jobs, then I think that that's understandable, not because of the fact they're trans, but because of the fact if a bio guy was in that same situation and he wasn't of that height or weight or whatever the requirement is, he also wouldn't be allowed to do that specific role. So I can understand in that regards why trans people might not be able to be excluded from certain types of roles, but I don't think the reason just because someone is trans should be a reason, obviously, that they aren't able to participate in the military service. So I had to do a little bit of reading up about this because I don't know too much about it, but in Australia, I think it seems we're a bit different from America in that it's you're allowed to be gay and lesbian to go into the army. And as far as I'm aware, transgendered as well. There is like rules and regulations about discrimination which are in place. Obviously that can be pretty hard to monitor at certain points, but it's definitely not the case of if you're gay. I think you're allowed to openly be gay and lesbian, and as far as I'm aware, transgendered as well. So, but it doesn't always stop the discrimination that you don't really always have control over, I think. But look, I don't know too much about war, so that's about it from the military side of things for me. I don't think that it should be mandatory, obviously. Considering my opinion on the war, I don't think it should be mandatory. Well, definitely not if we are going into battle for something in which we haven't been attacked. I think, if we were attacked directly, I think that, and it was a way of a defence, and that would be different. But yeah, look, I don't think that it should be mandatory in Australia or in America. I don't think it should be mandatory at all, unless you're getting attacked directly. So I'll jump on to this week's topic now, which is, do you have a fear of losing hair or other side effects of tea? Yeah, I'm terrified of losing my hair, to be honest. Because I've got dreadies, I've had like a couple of the front ones here. Firstly, my hair thinned out heaps, and I had to get, the lady who does my hair, she had to actually like double sew my dreadies together, so I think I have half the amount of what I did when I first got my dreadies like a couple of years ago. So they're thicker now than what they were, but in saying that, the receding hairline also, like, you probably can't tell too much, but yeah, a bit up there and there, really. You can tell a bit, but yeah, the receding hairline has been pretty bad for me. I only got this lady who does my hair actually got one of the extra dreadlocks and knotted that in. She made it herself, so I'm losing my hair. I think that the dreadlocks clearly don't really help that, but it's not something I really want to give up. I really like having them, so I'm actually going to have an appointment to see if there's some sort of treatment that can be done for this, because I'm not interested in going bald at the age of 26. And when it comes to losing hair, from what I've been told, it's genetic. So for those guys out there, if you're concerned about whether you're going to lose your hair or not, it's most likely going to be whatever your father or your grandfather is like. And my dad's hair is very thinned out, and my grandpa's got like bald all around the back. So yeah, so I don't know too much about the treatment at this point, but I know another guy who's on YouTube who's getting treatment. He said some of his hair's actually grown back as well, and they can do that if you get onto it early enough. So that's what I'm doing, but I'm in the midst of sort of still trying to organise that. Surgery for me has been my priority lately. So I've been on T now for about, in April it was 12 months, so yeah, so like 14 months or something like that. I was concerned about my anger levels, but that hasn't been problematic for me. I had a lot of heightened emotions before T. I'd be sad really easily, I'd be happy really easily. I would feel like really quite sensitive about different types of emotions, so I was worried that the anger side of my emotions would get worse, but it's actually not been like that at all. Since starting the T, all of those emotions have really just stabilised for me. I'm a lot calmer than what I was. I don't get sad as much as what I did. I still get happy, so those positive emotions haven't really been affected at all, but I don't know, a lot of the negative ones have. So not as many things get me upset and angry. So my anger levels are actually better than what they were when I was pre-T. I still get irritable. I think that's probably gotten a bit worse. I've always been irritable, but I do try and control it. But when I'm hungry or tired, I find it more difficult then. But yeah, in terms of being like violent or anything like that, I haven't had any problems. I think that I'd be more likely to stand up for myself now. Like if someone were to attack me, I'd be more likely to probably fight back and defend myself or protect my girlfriend or something like that. Don't think that I would come out on the better side necessarily, but I think that I'd probably be more protective or something like that, physically, and try and actually protect my partner. So but I definitely don't go out starting fights or anything like that. So yeah, I'm pretty small, so for me, any weight gain was sort of a good thing. It actually shifts anyway. Like the weight gain from T, all it does is it doesn't actually make you gain weight in a sense. It just shifts from your hips towards your stomach. So you're not really gaining weight so much to speak. Well, this is from what I know anyway. It just shifts where women hold body fat, men hold it differently. And for me, one of the most dysphoric things for me was my hips. So if I have a little bit of fat on my tummy, I don't care. As long as it's not on my hips, I don't care. So so that's fine for me. I mean, I go to the gym and I have a pretty good diet, so I keep a hold of that sort of thing anyway. I've put on a bit of weight, but I think most of it's muscle. I think that it's muscle, so it's not too much weight. But yeah, that's just my experiences. And yeah, in terms of our emotions as well, I was concerned because I do like social work. I work with people that are homeless, so I was really concerned that that would affect my emotions, the T, and that it would affect my job, and that I wouldn't have the same empathy and understanding for people in difficult situations that I do, because it's a real female-dominated industry that I work in. But I think that it has changed, but I don't think that it's bad. I think that I'm probably just more logical about things rather than like a logic focused in terms of trying to help a situation rather than emotion. But I still have a lot of emotions, probably still more than a bio guy would anyway. And yeah, I don't think that it has affected. I think that I've become less affected by my work and not getting so affected by a lot of the things that I can see from my clients, but which is healthier. So that was a concern for me, but yeah, it's fine. I don't really feel like it's a problem. Yeah, in terms of having a histo, like I said before, I'm not really interested in getting a histo anytime soon. because of the fact that I would never pre T I